Hey YouTube, it's Jaryd, and today we're going to be reacting to some Eurovision. Let's do it. Before we get started, if you want to keep up to date with all of my reaction videos and every other video that I'll possibly, potentially, maybe be making at some point in time, who knows, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Please and thank you. Today I'm going to be looking at the original winner of Vidbir 2022, Alina Pash. So Vidbir 2022 was the national selection for Ukraine to choose who would represent them at Eurovision. Originally, Alina was the winner of Vidbir 2022 and would go on to represent Ukraine at Eurovision. However, controversy struck and unfortunately she was disqualified or had to withdraw from the competition. The place then went to follow up Kalush Orchestra, who went on to represent Ukraine at Eurovision and then win the competition. I'm not completely familiar with Ukrainian laws, but I believe the issue was that you're not supposed to have performed in Russia or entered Crimea through Russia since 2014. I think it's something like that. Please let me know down there in the comments. But obviously Alina had done, and there was something about forging of the papers, so unfortunately she had to withdraw from the competition. Alina was going to represent with the song Shadows of Forgotten Ancestors, or in Ukrainian, Tіні, забутих предків. I hope I didn't butcher that. I'm not sure what the song is about, but already it sounds mysterious. It sounds controversial, so I'm sure I'm going to love it. Alina came first of the juries. 2 of the 3 jury members gave her the maximum score, while the third one gave her third best. And one of the jurors that gave her the maximum score was Jamala, who won Eurovision 2016 with the song 1944. So if there's ever anyone to kind of grant you the right to represent Eurovision, it should be a previous winner. And she came second in the televote behind eventual winner Kalush Orchestra. With the jury score and the televote combined, she came first place, so she was going to represent Ukraine. I do find it quite a shame, but obviously, you know, every country has their own laws. We just kind of have to respect it and move past it. Obviously, it was good for Kalush Orchestra because they got the opportunity to represent and they won the competition. So that was incredible for Ukraine. That was quite a glorious moment. I do feel bad for Alina, but it is what it is. It kind of feels weird watching an entry after the competition is finished because it's like, I'm going to be rooting them on, but they're not going to win. So good luck, Alina. Let's go. So this is Vidbir 2022 national final performance. Oh, that was quite impressive. Oh, this is scary already. Wow, this is quite intense and horrifying. I quite enjoy it. That red light is gorgeous. The kind of distorted panels of LED showing the eyes, that's quite unnerving to look at. Stunning voice though, and singing in Ukrainian, which is always a fan favourite.
From a small town, my folks are best described in writings of Juma. One for all and all for one.
Oh my god! What is this, rap drop?
Picasso's dog is the divine strategy. My childhood girls played with toy dolls, but I wrote these words here because my favorite was a book of Shakespeare. Just like the brothers scream, I leave behind a piece of me. Remember your ancestors, write your own history.
Oh my god, that was intense. She just name dropped Shakespeare and Brothers Grimm in there, I heard that. Oh my goodness. This is a lot. gosh, these photos that are being displayed over her. Obviously this has got to be looking at the previous time, previous era. Oh my goodness.
Alina Pash.
I'm really taken aback by that performance. I didn't really understand anything of what was going on. I have no context, but you could just feel the raw emotion on that stage. You could feel how intense it was coming from her. It was a very eye-catching performance. You know, you didn't really want to look away from anything for fear you might miss it. But I'm trying to decipher every little detail, and I'm just experiencing a wave of emotion and power coming from Alina. Oh, I feel exhausted just watching that. So I'm just catching up now for a bit of context. The title of the song, Shadows of Forgotten Ancestors, shares the name of a 1965 movie. The first verse talks about the history of Ukraine and the long history of war that plagued the country. The ancient Slavic gods heard the cries of the Ukrainian people, and then peace was restored to Ukraine and new communities could rise and build. If any time, that is so relevant now with everything that is happening in Ukraine currently. So obviously the power and the emotion that this must have instilled in not only the artist, the team, the whole country, everybody watching this. I can't possibly imagine it. I think in a nutshell, that's what it covers, but this may not be correct. So if there is actually a better translation or you have a better explanation, please let me know down there in the comments. From an aesthetic point of view, I thought the staging was beautiful. It was haunting. The way the projections and everything came up, the LED, the spacing, the movements, the things like the arms coming out, the eyes, it was quite sporadic and chaotic, and I thought that worked really well. She stood out on the stage with her traditional, I believe, folk garments, which, you know, the red light really accentuated that. Vocally, for the most part, I thought she sounded pretty great. We started off with what I can only describe as chanting / animal nature noises. It was like very distinctive style of singing. And then we went into the verse where we kind of tackled a bit of up and down on the notes. There was some that were flat, a bit pitchy. We got an immediate improvement when we went into the chorus. Parts of it reminded me of White Voice, that style of singing. I found it kind of wavered in between, and it probably wasn't, but it sounded familiar to me that way. One of the standouts for me was the spoken word section. It's when she was breaking into her rap. I thought she had incredible tempo and pace there. All in all, her vocals, when matched with the gorgeous instrumental of the song, it evened itself out, so I thought it sounded great. What's so fantastic about it is how relatable it is, because not just to Ukraine, many countries have experienced war and devastation, so it kind of would be a cry out to the world to heal itself from the tragedies of before and to move forward. So I think that's a great message that a lot of people would definitely relate to. We have quite a few similarities between Shadows of Forgotten Ancestors and Stefania. You know, both include rap, both have killer vocals on the choruses, both are very symbolic in the staging and the artistry. But tempo-wise, we have a bit of a change here. We have Shadows being a bit more of the ballad, we have it a bit more intense, dark, nitty-gritty, whereas Stefania is a bit more upbeat, up-tempo. So they both kind of stand out in their own mirrors. So Shadows won Vidbir 2022, that's just factual, you know, no one can take that away from Alina. Would it have gone on to win Eurovision? I think that's where it can be a bit controversial. As is evident from a lot of reactions to the competition, a lot of people feel, and I kind of have to agree, that Ukraine could have sent any entry this year and they would have won with that entry due to what is happening in their country. Unlike other people though, I'm not mad about it. I do think we should be keeping politics away from the competition, but by nature, the competition was founded on politics. So obviously there will always be a little bit of it in there. But I quite enjoyed that it was a victory for the Ukrainian people, because I do think more than ever they did need that. Personally, and this is coming from someone who adores Ukraine, you guys know how much I love their entries. I root for them every single year, even at their lowest, which I still think are better than some countries' best. I didn't see Stefania as the winner. It wasn't my winner. I saw it as a top 10 potential because I think it's a great song, but it definitely wasn't really top 5 for me. As for Shadows, I do think I kind of see it the same. I don't see this as the winner of the competition, regardless of the fact it would have won anyway. even then, top 5, I'm not really seeing it for that. I do think it would have been a top 10 candidate because it is a standout. I mean, it obviously clearly is a standout from all the entries. But yeah, I didn't see either of those songs as my winner this year. I do think the juries would have absolutely loved this entry though. They would have definitely pushed it as high as possible, but the televote could have gone either way. It would have definitely been a top 10, but based off of this year and what's happening, it would have won the competition. And you could even argue that this song is probably more relevant to win the competition this year than Stefania was. But at the end of the day, that is all ifs, buts, what ifs, you know, that's not the case. That's not what's going to happen. Stefania won the competition, Ukraine have won the competition, and this song had to withdraw. So that is how it is. Unfortunately, you break the rules. But it's a very beautiful song nonetheless, and I think we should be keeping our eye out for Alina. Hopefully we will see a lot more material coming from her in the nearby future. What do you think of Ukraine's almost entry? Do you prefer Stefania or do you prefer Shadows of Forgotten Ancestors? What do you think about this rule that stopped her from going to represent Ukraine at Eurovision? Let me know all down there in the comments. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys.